Sometimes the biggest, most fascinating stories are hidden in the most unlikely places. Today, we're going to find one of those stories tucked away in a document you've probably seen 100 times and never thought twice about: a simple hotel bill. Seriously, when was the last time you really looked at your hotel receipt? I mean, past the room rate, past any of those pesky resort fees, all the way down into the fine print where they list out the taxes. Most of us, right, we just see a number and we pay it. But what if I told you that a specific 6% tax, one charged on hotel rooms in the Hannahville Indian community in Michigan, isn't just another number? It's actually a story about community, about law, and about the fundamental right to self-govern. So first things first, let's break down what this tax actually is and, how it all works. Let's get into the mechanics. Okay, so here's the deal. The community's legal code puts a 6% tax on rooms and other lodging for any stay that's shorter than one continuous month. So if you're popping in for a weekend or staying for a week, this tax is going to be on your bill. Now, the official term for this is a room occupancy tax, but the code also calls it a use tax, and that's a really crucial detail. The tax isn't actually on the hotel itself. It's specifically on the person who is using or occupying the room. And the way the money moves is super straightforward. You, the guest, pay the hotel. The business then collects that 6% on behalf of the community, and then they turn that tax money right over to the tribal government. Simple and clean. But here's where it gets even more interesting. It's not just about who pays the tax, it's also about who doesn't. The exemptions that are written right into the law, they tell you a whole lot. So you can see the tax is mainly paid by non-tribal visitors who are staying for a short time. But now look at that exemptions list. The Hannahville tribal government and its members, they don't pay. Businesses owned by the community itself, also exempt. And here's a big one. Members of other federally recognized Indian tribes are exempt too. This shows you right away that this tax was designed with a ton of thought. It's not just a blanket fee, it's carefully structured with community and intertribal relationships in mind. Okay, so we know what it is and who pays it, but this is where the story really clicks into place. Why? Why does this tax even exist in the first place? Let's follow the money. And we don't even have to guess, because the code itself gives us the answer, right there in black and white. It says this is an important source of revenue used to support programs and services. And not just for tribal members, but also for non-members who live on or visit the reservation. The purpose is crystal clear. And get this. Every single dollar collected from this 6% tax goes directly into the community's general fund. This isn't for some special project or a side fund. It's a central part of the tribal government's main operating budget. So when the code talks about programs and services, what are we really talking about? Well, we're talking about the absolute essentials. This is revenue that can help pay for things like roads and infrastructure, for healthcare clinics, for educational programs, public safety, all the vital systems that make a community run and thrive. All right, and this is where we need to zoom out, because when you connect all these different pieces, you start to realize that this little 6% tax is about something much, much bigger than just what's on a hotel bill. So on the most basic, practical level, yes, of course. It's a tool. It's a way to raise money for essential services. But on a much, much deeper level, the very act of creating, legislating, and collecting a tax, well, that's a fundamental act of governing. It's a community writing its own rules for its own land. And you can see this power in action right there in the code. The elected tribal council, they're responsible for enforcing the tax. The community's own tribal court, that's where any disputes go. And the tribe has the authority to make tax agreements with other sovereign governments. I mean, these aren't just little administrative details. This is the real machinery of a functioning, self-determining government. And that, right there, is the heart of the whole story. The power to tax is a core pillar of sovereignty for any nation on Earth. So by creating and managing this room tax, the Hannahville Indian community isn't just collecting funds. It is actively exercising its inherent right to govern itself. It's a powerful, real-world expression of tribal sovereignty. So the next time you're checking out of a hotel or looking at any kind of receipt, maybe just take an extra second. Take a closer look at the fine print. You honestly never know what amazing stories about history, community, and self-determination you might find hidden in there. Thanks for joining us.